Alrighty, so today we are going to get someone new into the hobby. Stoner Trash's little brother, FPV Broken is his handle. He's been saving up and buying parts one by one, and I'm going to start his build today. He was supposed to come and help build it so that I could teach him a little bit, but I guess I'll have to teach him when he breaks something. That's just how it's gonna go. Now I have the whole build here except for the receiver, so we will do the receiver and BL Heli / Emu Flight. I'm gonna put Emu Flight on it. I'll do that whole setup in a separate video when he gets his RX. So what he has got here is a Source One frame with Zing E motors on it. I build my Source Ones reversed. I put the plate on top. The arms are actually on the inside of the frame. I find it's better balance. It brings the motors up a little bit to closer. Brings up the motors so that you have better center of gravity compared to where your props are, which creates a balanced quad, for those of you who don't know. I am putting a Wolf Whoop VTX in it, 800 milliwatt Wolf Whoop VTX, a Mamba F4 stack, the Zingies, and we are putting a Run Cam Robin in it. Make sure your tip's clean. Ha ha ha. So I'm gonna heat up the pad. Once the pad's hot, you can start feeding solder onto it. As you can see, that's nice and pretty. Once the 4-in-1 actually has a little bit of heat to it, then the rest of the contacts, they accept the solder fairly easily because the board is already kind of warm, so it doesn't take as long to heat up the rest of the pads as you go along. I'm gonna be nice and careful here. You don't want to feed the solder too much because then it starts to spit all over the place. So I'm just gonna take it nice and easy. I use a very thin gauge solder because I use it for all applications, so I just kind of take my time. Nice and easy. Go all the way around. Don't breathe that smoke in, it's not good for you. Then once I actually get the motors soldered to this 4-in-1, I'm going to put some conformal coat on it because the Canadian weather is very wet right now. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually going to, because I won't be messing around with the bottom side of this, I'm going to throw some conformal coat on the bottom half of it right now. And then I am actually going to install the 4-in-1 so that I know exactly how long to cut all my wires. Be generous with this stuff. There's no such thing as too waterproof. And we have generously applied the conformal coat to the underside of the 4-in-1. DJ Eat Fresh, is that what he said? DJ Eat Fresh! Yo, we sponsored by Subway. Eat fresh, motherfucker. Now, as you can see, those countersunk screws fit in there just beautifully. I'm gonna stick my nylon standoffs on here so that I can stick my 4-in-1 on and start tinning that up. The Source One is a great beginner build. It's lots of room in it, it's a cheap frame, and they're pretty durable from what I've seen so far. If you're tinning your wires on top of your drone like this with it half put together, I suggest to pull your wires out of the way to tin them so that you aren't tinning over your 4-in-1. That's just, you're just asking for problems if you're doing it like that, in my opinion. So what I need is ground 5-volt and S-bus for my RX. Now, like I said, we do not have an RX yet. He's been saving up for parts and the RX hasn't showed up yet, so that part of the build will have to wait.
I want you to listen. I want you to listen.
9-volt and ground, which is up here for my VTX. So that's pretty much ready to go. I'm going to stick the wires for my VTX on now, because I kind of prefer to not solder over top of my drone. So I'm gonna leave lots of extra wire, just to be safe. These little wires are easier to just pull the shielding off. Tin on there, just let they bond nice and easy. And I put my VTX in the back, so I'm gonna wire this towards the back. Alright, so that's solid now. And then obviously when the RX shows up, my contacts are already tinned up and ready to go for that. So what I'm gonna do before I stick all this on is I'm going to, like I said, I'm gonna silicone conformal coat the back before I put it down. Because obviously it's not very easy to do this when it's all put together. Alright, so I threw this together. I'm going to throw the GoPro mount on there. It still needs an RX. I gotta wait for that to show up. I have no clue when I'm going to be finishing this drone. Probably going to have to leave home for a few months or whatever. I gotta go work. So the content is probably going to slow to almost a complete stop until I can start getting some money together. So yeah, there's the broken FPV Source One, all done. Just needs the RX on it, and then I can flash everything, and she'll be good to go. We'll have another new pilot joining the community. So yeah, there you go. If you want to help, my Patreon's down below, or go buy yourself some Reckless shirts or hoodies. Yeah, bud, thanks for watching.